You have just crossed the line of your first $10,000, and the silence of your bank account is the sound of a new life. Point to follow from this second on. You are no longer an ordinary saver, but a rising capital manager. Forget the urge to celebrate by buying something shiny or smelling like new just to impress neighbors. Point to follow. Your first step after this milestone is to armor your mind against the inflation of your own lifestyle. $10,000 is your unit of measurement for freedom, and every cent must be treated like a soldier ready for battle. Point to follow. Your absolute priority now is the maintenance of the machine you built with your own sweat. Check if your emergency fund is solid enough to withstand 6 months of total chaos without you trembling. Point 2. Follow. If this value is still mixed with your investments, you are playing a game that is far too dangerous. Separate your safety capital from your attack capital so that your emotions do not interfere with your long-term strategy. Point 2. Follow. The visual clarity of your net worth is what will stop you from selling your assets at the first sign of panic. Now that you have skin in the game, your greatest tool is no longer the brokerage chart, but your ability to contribute. Point to follow. Your focus must shift from extreme cost-cutting to the aggressive increase of your monthly income. $10,000 yielding 10% a year is only $1,000, which does not change your final destiny. Point to follow, but $10,000 added to constant monthly contributions creates a gravitational force that attracts wealth. Optimize your tax structure within the United States by using accounts that protect your growth from the government's appetite. Point to follow. Understanding the difference between a 401k or a Roth IRA is what separates amateurs from professional investors. Do not fall into the trap of trying to find the next stock that will soar 1,000% in a week. Point to follow. The 10,000 milestone requires you to master global indices and the diversification that protects your sleep. Your goal now is no longer just to reach 20,000, but to create an automatic process that makes this growth inevitable. Point to follow. The discipline of investing before paying the bills is what will accelerate your arrival at the next level. Avoid the classic mistake of feeling too rich and starting to give financial advice to those who did not ask for it. Point to follow. Keep your progress in secret, while your account works silently to buy your time back. The American market is relentless with those who have excessive confidence after their first significant victory. Point 2. Follow. Treat every new dollar with the same respect and rigor you had when saving your very first $100 bill. From now on, you need to think in terms of asset allocation and correlation between world markets. Point to follow. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. No matter how indestructible it may seem at the current moment, learn to read between the lines of the economy and how interest rates directly affect the value of your hard-earned wealth. Point 2. Follow. Technical knowledge becomes your greatest shield against the crises that bring down the unprepared. If you feel the temptation to leverage your capital to try and double the value quickly, remember the effort it took to get here. Point to follow. Patience is a virtue that pays the largest dividends in the history of Wall Street. Automate every cent of your financial flow so that the decision to invest does not depend on your morning mood. Point to follow. Mechanical consistency beats emotional genius in 99% of real-world scenarios. Notice how opportunity cost now becomes a real factor in every consumption choice. You make points to follow that luxury dinner does not just cost $200, it costs what those $200 would be worth in 10 years. Keep your lifestyle static while your income rises, creating a wealth gap between what you earn and what you spend. Point to follow. It is in this gap that your real financial freedom is built in a solid and permanent way. The first $10,000 proved that you have the DNA of one who accumulates and not one who just consumes. Point to follow. Now, you need to refine this identity to withstand the pressures of much higher values. Do not be distracted by the daily market fluctuations that seek to steal your peace and force you into wrong decisions. Point to follow. The successful investor looks at decades, while the loser looks at the next 5 minutes. Study real assets and how they can protect your purchasing power against the invisible devaluation of currency. Point to follow. Diversifying beyond paper. Money is what ensures you remain wealthy in any economic scenario. Your network of contacts should begin to reflect your new financial reality and your new life goals. Point to follow. Frequent places where the conversations are about assets, business, and expanding mental horizons. Remember that money is an excellent servant, but a terrible master that can enslave your mind if you allow it. Point to follow. Keep control of the reins and never let your bank balance define your worth as a man. The 10,000 milestone is the end of the beginning and the start of your journey toward total and unrestricted independence. Point to follow. Every decision made today will echo in the quality of life you will have 20 or 30 years from now. Reinforce your financial education continuously as the economic landscape changes and you need to be ready to adapt. Point to follow. Mental agility is just as important As the balance you show on your investment app, stop seeking external validation for your success and focus on the numbers that truly matter for your future. Point to follow true wealth is invisible to those looking from the outside and extremely solid for those who built it. Upon reaching this level, you should start considering the legal protection of your assets to avoid unnecessary losses. Point to follow understanding insurance and protection structures is the next logical step for those who want to grow. Do not be afraid to invest in yourself. As long as it results in a direct increase in your ability to generate value. Point to follow your brain remains the asset that generates the highest returns on invested capital. Risk asymmetry must always be in your favor. Seeking asymmetrical gains with controlled and predictable losses. Point to follow never bet what you cannot afford to lose in search of something you do not yet need. Be rigorous with your management fees and transaction costs that can erode your profitability in the long run. Point to follow every fraction of a percentage saved today translates into thousands of dollars more in the future. Time is now your greatest ally and haste becomes your greatest enemy in building this financial edifice. Point to follow, let the power of compound interest do the heavy lifting while you focus on your profession. Develop a critical view of the bombshell news that tries to generate panic or artificial euphoria in the market. Point to follow, the smart investor is the one who remains calm when everyone around them is losing their head. The freedom you seek is not just financial, but the freedom of choice over how to spend every hour of your day. Point to follow, $10,000 are the first bricks of the wall that will protect you from the orders of others. Evaluate your portfolio quarterly to ensure it still reflects your goals and your risk tolerance profile. Point to follow rebalancing is the secret technique to buy low and sell high in a natural way. Never stop saving, but learn to spend on what actually increases your productivity or your mental health. Point to follow, the balance between parsimony and personal investment is the key to a sustainable journey. Gratitude for what you have already achieved should be the fuel to seek levels that previously seemed impossible. Point to follow, you have already proven you can beat inertia, now prove you can beat the system's gravity. Consider the possibility of creating passive income streams that complement your salary and accelerate your accumulation process. Point to follow, diversifying the source of your money is the best way to ensure stability in times of crisis. The path to $100,000 is paved with the same discipline that brought you here. Just with larger values. Point to follow, the math does not change. What changes is your ability to manage the stress of growth. Maintain the humility of a beginner and the execution of a war veteran in every financial move you make. Point to follow, overconfidence is the prelude to the fall for many who reach their first milestones. Your life after $10,000 should be guided by strategy and not by chance or social media trends. Point to follow, you are the captain of your ship and the final destination is absolute peace of mind. Take advantage of the security this value provides to better negotiate your working conditions and your business opportunities. Point to follow, those who have cash have bargaining power at any negotiation table in the world. Understand that the process of becoming wealthy is a marathon and not a 100-meter dash against time. Point two, follow, those who run too fast end up tiring before reaching the halfway point of the most important journey. Financial maturity is not measured by what you flaunt, but by how long you can survive maintaining your lifestyle if your income stops. Point to follow, every strategic decision made now consolidates your position at the top of the social pyramid. Remember that the American system is designed to reward capital and not just hard work without direction. Point to follow, use this competitive advantage to stand out and protect your family's future with iron fists. The evolution of your wealth will be a direct reflection of the evolution of your character and your ability to resist worldly temptations. Point to follow, keep your eyes on the bigger prize and never negotiate your values for temporary gains. This is the moment to decide if you will just be someone who got lucky once or if you will be the architect of multi-generational wealth. Point to follow, the choice is yours and time is running in your favor as long as you maintain operational discipline. The secret lies in never forgetting the hunger that brought you here. Transforming that energy into strategic intelligence for the next challenges. Point to follow, the mountain is high, but the view from the top only belongs to those who did not stop climbing. The first $10,000 are not about money. They are about proving that you are capable of building real wealth. Point to follow, now that you know the way, execute the plan with perfection and watch the magic of capital happen in your life. If you want to master the next stages of this journey, comment your opinion on this strategy, subscribe to the channel, and leave your like to strengthen our community. Point to follow, we will see you in the next video toward your total freedom.